My new responsibilities, it will no longer be possible for me to give so much of my time and energies to the charities and issues for which I care so deeply. King Charles has finally broken his silence on a secret that has haunted him for decades. Whispers from royal insiders suggest he's made an emotional confession about the true love of his life, one that could rewrite history. Was it Diana Camilla or someone entirely unexpected? Let's investigate. In the autumn of 1977, fate quietly set the stage for one of the most talked about royal relationships in history. Prince Charles, then 29, was already under immense pressure to settle down. Meanwhile, a shy 16-year-old Lady Diana Spencer had no idea she would soon be thrust into the global spotlight, their first meeting at Althorp House. Her family's estate wasn't love at first sight. In fact, Charles was dating her older sister, Lady Sarah, at the time. Diana was nothing more than a passing acquaintance. It wasn't until 3 years later that their paths truly crossed. Again, by then, Diana had transformed into a poised young woman, capturing the admiration of the public and the royal family. Charles was expected to find a suitable bride, and Diana seemed like the perfect choice. But was this really a romantic match? Or was it a carefully planned arrangement to secure the future of the monarchy as their courtship began? The world believed in a fairy tale, yet behind the royal spectacle, whispers suggested Charles's heart was never truly in it. Even as he moved toward marriage, was he, Secret L, longing for someone else on July 29, 1981. The world watched in awe as Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer exchanged vows in a grand ceremony with over 750 million people tuning in. It was hailed as the wedding of the century. Diana, dressed in an ivory silk gown with a record-breaking train, stepped out of the carriage like a true princess. The moment seemed picture perfect. But was it during the ceremony? Small but telling signs hinted at the deeper reality. Diana accidentally mixed up Charles's name. An innocent slip that many later viewed as symbolic, more notably when asked if they were in love. Diana eagerly replied. Of course, Charles's response, whatever in love, means his words sent shockwaves through the public, raising questions about his true feelings. As the couple left St. Paul's Cathedral and waved to the cheering crowds, everything seemed magical. But inside the palace walls, the pressures of royal life and unspoken emotions were already brewing. Was this the start of a lasting love or just the beginning of an obligation? Neither of them could escape. Now, decades later, Charles's emotional confession forces us to reconsider, was this truly a love story, or was it all just an illusion? The birth of their first child. Prince William in 1982 seemed to mark a joyful chapter in Charles and Diana's marriage. As they stepped outside St. Mary's Hospital, the proud parents introduced their newborn to the world. Diana, despite the exhaustion of childbirth, radiated warmth, while Charles stood beside her, visibly pleased but composed. 2 years later, Prince Harry was born, bringing more excitement to the public. Diana adored her children, finding purpose in motherhood. However, Charles's reaction reportedly lacked the enthusiasm Diana had hoped for. When he first saw Harry, he allegedly remarked, "Oh, it's a boy, and he even has red hair," a comment that left Diana feeling hurt. Diana embraced a hands-on parenting style, showering her sons with love and attention. Charles, bound by royal tradition, was more distant, struggling to bridge the emotional gap. Their differing approaches to raising William and Harry only widened the divide in their marriage years later. Did Charles regret not being more present as he reflects at 76? Does he see these moments as missed opportunities? Could his emotional confession be linked to the choices he made? Not just as a husband, but as a father. Long before Diana, there was Camilla. Charles met Camilla Parker Bowles in 1970, and their bond was undeniable. However, fate and royal expectations kept them apart. Camilla married Andrew Parker BS, and Charles moved on. Or did he by the mid-1980s? Whispers of Charles and Camilla's rekindled connection grew louder. Diana, sensing the emotional distance, confronted Camilla in 1989. In a tense exchange, Diana reportedly told her, "I know what's going on between you and Charles, but the confrontation changed nothing." Camilla remained an ever-present figure in Charles's life. Diana's struggles became more public, and the weight of a marriage tangled in secrecy took its toll. The one-dreamed fairy tale had become a carefully managed royal narrative. In Charles's later confession, does he acknowledge that his heart was never truly free? Did he ever have a chance to love Diana fully? Or was Camilla always the one now as king does? He looked back with regret, knowing the pain his choices caused by the early 1990s. The crack and Charles and Diana's marriage were beyond repair. Their official separation was announced in 1992, but the final blow came in 1995 when Diana gave a tell-all interview. Her words stunned the world. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. The monarchy faced one of its biggest crises. Public sympathy leaned heavily toward Diana, and Charles's reputation took a hit. The divorce was finalized in 1996, stripping Diana of her royal title, but even then, their story was far from over. Diana continued to capture the world's admiration, while Charles found solace in Camilla. But was it truly love, or just a longing for something familiar? His emotional confession at 76 suggests there's more to the story, one that even history has yet to fully uncover. On August 31st, 1997, the world awoke to the shocking news: Diana was gone. The public's grief was overwhelming, but what about Charles? Reports suggest he was deeply affected. Despite years of separation, he personally traveled to Paris to bring Diana's body home. A rare moment of raw emotion. Some believe this was his way of acknowledging what he had never openly admitted, that Diana's presence had shaped his life in ways he never understood until she was gone. Even now, decades later, Diana's influence is undeniable. Her sons carry her legacy, and her impact on the monarchy remains strong. Does Charles's emotional confession reflect a deeper regret, one where he realizes the love he once had but never fully appreciated? For decades, the world has speculated about King Charles's true feelings. Was he ever truly in love with Diana, or was his heart elsewhere from the very beginning? Now at 76, Charles has reportedly made an emotional confession that has left royal insiders stunned. The words he allegedly spoke, "I loved her," have reignited a debate that has never fully faded. But what do they really mean? Some believe this is the first time Charles has openly acknowledged the depth of his feelings for Diana. Was this an admission of regret, a moment of reflection, or is it possible that despite all the years of speculation, Charles genuinely loved Diana in his own way, but simply wasn't able to express it? Looking back, the signs were always there: the way he admired her ability to connect with people, his quiet support as she grew into her role, and the moments, though rare, where he seemed to show genuine affection, but the weight of royal duty expectations and unresolved emotions made their marriage far more complicated than the fairy tale the public was sold. Royal sources suggest that Charles has privately spoken about how Diana's presence never truly left his life, even after their divorce, even after their public struggles, even after all the pain. She remained a part of him. Her influence was seen in their sons, in the way the public adored her, and in the way the monarchy was forced to evolve because of her impact. Some close to Charles believe his confession is not just about love, but about realization, realizing too late what he had and what was lost. The world saw Diana as a woman scorned, but did Charles deep down see her as the love he let slip away? Others argue that this confession is being misinterpreted. They believe Charles always loved Camilla, and that his words about Diana are more about respect and acknowledgement rather than deep, lasting love. After all, his relationship with Camilla endured even when it was tested by scandal and public disapproval. If Diana was his great love, why did he continue to fight for Camilla? The truth is, only Charles knows what's in his heart. But this confession at 76 forces us to ask, did he truly move on, or has he spent his life haunted by what could have been? Now, as King Charles carries the weight of history on his shoulders, his emotional confession at 76 reignites the debate: was Diana the love of his life, or was it always Camilla? Some believe he never truly understood Diana until it was too late. Others argue Camilla was his true companion all along. But one thing is certain, Diana's legacy continues to shape the monarchy, and Charles's own words suggest that even after all these years, she remains an unshakable presence in his heart. What do you think? Was this a royal love story, a tragic misstep, or something even more complex? Share your thoughts in the comments below.